So apparently, well, how can we best intrude upon Elevensies? Let's call the store at bang on 11 o'clock. So there you go. You get to join.
Well, you know, for a long time we did open at 11, but we don't open at 11 anymore.
Not for a not since pre-pandemic.
Right.
I will tell you. Okay, let me quickly edit this because we have got some fun stuff to share with you today when you guys get round to joining us, which hopefully will be soon.
So I'm having a crazy hair day. That must be a sign that I'm going to have all kinds of learned knowledge thrust upon me.
Is it the Albert Einstein?
Yes,
hair?
I'm having a crazy hair day today. I don't know. I can't, whatever.
Marvelous.
It is what it is.
Marvelous.
I'm a little crazy, so my hair could be crazy. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, welcome to Elevensies.
Welcome to Elevensies with Lisa Anton.
Yes.
Yes. The late morning show. Yes, some people have late shows and some people have morning shows. We have a late morning show, which is kind
so
of...
as you know, we have been making plans for world domination.
Thereabouts, pretty much, yes.
And actually I've been doing a lot of research and trying to learn an awful lot about how best to use the resources and gifts that we have.
I know, because people will say, well, you're just plain weird, but Caradwin sat you down and had a chat and said, you need to make best possible use of all of what we have.
So I don't have a way not to listen to her.
Well, that's true. That is true.
That is true. I've been doing a lot of research with YouTube and how it works. And, you know, the last few times we've been on, I've said to people on Facebook, please go over to our YouTube station. So we've looked into it and we've realized these last 6 months or so, while we've been devoted to doing Elevensies, that live content isn't the best way to get extra viewers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Live content is wonderful for Facebook, and we certainly will continue to do box openings and and lives and things like that on Facebook.
But it's a different dynamic on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, we're learning. We're learning as we go.
So we've decided that we're going to change the format of Elevensies a little bit. We're still going to be here Monday through Friday.
Yes, yes.
And we're still going to have our Magickal Moonday, and we're still going to have Tarot Tuesday and all that kind of thing.
Yes, yes.
But we might have a little more concise things to talk about that will then later be turned into YouTube playlists. So what do we mean by that?
It's cool. It's a plan so cunning you could pin a tail on it and call it a fox.
So what we mean by that is the beginning of the show will be like it always has been.
Like this bit.
This bit. And we'll interact with you and we'll talk about what we're going to talk about. And we'll talk about the upcoming moon event on Magickal Moonday.
Yes, yes.
Then there'll be a segment that's more like a little mini 101 workshop about something. So today we're going to talk about moon signs, the zodiac sign that the moon was in when you were born. We're going to talk about that today. And while we're doing that little 101 sort of workshopy part, we won't be interacting with you because it's going to become a YouTube clip that we'll put up as a 101 that we will probably add maybe pictures, B-roll, as they call it, a little more understanding about whatever topic it is we're teaching about. And then, of course, we'll have our regular Elevensies outro where we pull card of the day and talk to you as individuals again.
Do our natter.
So
and there'll be points where she will obviously pause to blow her snozzle.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I had,
you're allergic to me or coffee. I think that's what it is. I don't know. So yeah, we're learning. We realise, that's the whole point. That why you go through this whole school of experience is to learn as you go. And as Lisa says, you need this thing called evergreen or perennial content.
Yes.
If it's going to go into something that people can go back to and watch again and again and again.
Right. So that they, when doing the research, they're saying, like, if we do Magickal Moonday and that episode is just about where the moon is that week,
you're done.
It doesn't.
I mean, it may come around in another 150 years or something.
Right.
But
so we need something that is evergreen, that people will be interested in for a long time. And I know that a lot of people are interested in astrology.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I know that a lot of people are interested in a lot of the things that we do. Craft of the Wise is certainly on a resurgence and a great growing phase. And
props to everybody
metaphysical
who was at
things
our
in
course
general.
yesterday.
You know?
That was good. Yeah. So we also know from our little bit of experience in doing this, the absolute fastest way to produce content, and we unfortunately are time constrained in the nature of what Lisa and I do. We probably have, oh, for goodness sakes, fella. So apparently it's all about him today.
Damn it, demanding petting. Hi, Dottie.
So yeah, we're kind of time constrained. So it's a truism that the absolute fastest way to produce content is to do it live. So if he'll allow us, we're going to have a stab at doing a section in our Elevensies that will transform, if you will, at a slightly later stage into that perennial content.
Right, into a playlist.
So yeah, so you know, as we've got the moon, we do Magickal Moondays. We're going to start looking at things, and it may be the moon relevant to this. It might be a teaching about eclipses. It might be a teaching like today. We're going to go into like a quick 101 of what it means where your moon's placement in your astrological chart. So yeah, we're going to say hi to everybody at first at the start. You know, so hello Smarrow, hello Valerie, hello Wendy. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you. But we're not going to be so interactive in the actual training segment. We're going to be very much focused on the camera and not looking at our computers to see who's saying what. We're going to then do that.
Then we'll come back at the end and do part of the day like we've always done.
So,
but that
we're not ignoring you.
But that works like for dual purpose, right? We still have our Elevensies. We still get to talk with you. We still get to interact and talk about what's happening now. And then we also get something that we can top and tail and use as content to meet YouTube requirements to build
exactly
our profile. And that's what we really want to do. We need to get to 100,000 followers
plus.
Now. That's our next big hurdle. Well, it was forever to get to 1,000.
Yeah, and then the other 2,000 came fairly quickly after that.
But now we're kind of still at 3,000, and we need to get to 100.
Yeah, but it's interesting. When Lisa, fair play to her, she's been doing an awful lot of research on what works. And it's definitely that Facebook or Meta or whatever they're going to call themselves is more slewed to sort of a quick live. And our box openings, especially when we're doing box openings, people just chuffing love that on Facebook. It's really
because they
popular.
get first dibs on the new stuff, you know.
It's quite often fights going on. I want that.
I only have 3 of these, so you have to call now.
So, but I think people really love seeing the goodies that come in, and it's almost like being part of the store and part of the crazy, mad, lovey energy there that people vibe to.
Yeah.
So that works really well for that, and we're going to continue doing that, obviously. We realised though that the live format, we've been doing this for getting on. This is our 8th season now. So that means we've been doing this we're into our 8th month of doing this, our 8th month. Religiously, Monday through Friday, and we've even tried
for when we were in the hospital.
Well, yeah. Apart from a few curved balls, where something's gotten in the way. Either we've been in the wilds of nowhere and we just
had to put out a fire
online,
or something. Yes.
Or unfortunately we're laid up with a gammy elbow or whatever it is, or you're having an episode of SVT. There's been a couple of occasions.
Next morning after that.
Yeah, there's been a couple of occasions where we've just not been there, but otherwise Monday through Friday for the last 8 months, we've been putting something up. And what our research tells us that it's posters of regular content, and that ideally a series playlist, and Elevensies is a series. There's an Elevensies playlist, so that should.
But it's live, and that's not what they're looking for
exactly,
for their algorithms.
Exactly. So it doesn't have the same impetus, if you will.
Because it doesn't have the longevity. It's played and then nobody wants to go back and watch it because the moon is no longer in that place, or card of the day is only card of the day for that day. So we're here making a program. We're doing that, all right? So why not make a program that can be later, repurposed? This is making best possible use of our time and resources. We're here. We've decided we're going to become almost like like a professional TV outfit, and we're going to have a production meeting every week, and we're going to start laying out what we're going to learn. We're actually going to build a studio. So we can shut the door.
So we can actually do this without cats leaping over something. Because, in a live program, you haven't got the opportunity to go, oops, sorry about that. I mean, we may leave some crap in like that. That's true because it's sort of entertaining.
Well, everybody seems to love pussycats.
Oh, they love the cats more than us. That's for sure.
He's really on a tirade. If I take my hand away, he's going to scream.
He starts screaming. It's surprising he hasn't clawed his way up you yet. Try and climb all over you.
He did stick his claw on my leg.
Oh no. See, I rest my case. It's all about Emmett today. So yeah, we're here making a program. We're going to try and make that program that we can use for perennial content.
No, I can't reach you.
We're going to continue doing Elevensies. We are.
Good morning,
but we're going to start
Good morning, Shauna.
Producing something that's going to go up in the can video, far more frequently, and hopefully that's going to start to give us a bit of traction in YouTube. And for you guys that are watching us on the Book of Face, we dearly, dearly, dearly love you to come and watch us on YouTube, all right? Because we need some traction. You all know this is not just about Lisa and I becoming household names because we want to be dripping in diamonds. That's not our gig.
We want to save the planet.
Yeah, we're trying to build
Celtica is the
Celtica
ultimate
here.
goal.
And
we also want to ensure success for everybody who's working with us, right?
Exactly.
All of the readers and people that are familiars and really helping us and sharing their energy at the shop. We want to ensure success for all of those people too. So
yeah.
But yes, we really want to save the planet. And this coming couple of weeks, we'll be unveiling Hecate for sale.
We can't show you yet.
She's beautiful.
I'm looking at her right now.
And I've written to Courtney Weber and asked her to come on and talk about Hecate, and we'll be promoting her book.
Excuse us.
And I'm going to see if I can seal the deal by getting her to send signature plates for books.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? And
so we're working on all kinds of things. We just wear so many hats. We want to help people. We want to be helped, but we also want to help other people. That would be a great opportunity for Courtney to reach our audience and talk about her book. We've sold out of her book. We have 12 copies.
We better get some in then before we do this.
Well, I wrote to Sam Weiser this morning and said, "How quick can I get a case of Courtney's books?"
All right.
So we'll see what they say about that. But I think our rep might still be on maternity leave. So
really. Gosh.
There's always
you never know.
Complications.
There's always a curveball. There's always a but, isn't there? There's always a but, and it's a big but.
All right. Yes. So now we're going to move on to the segment of Elevensies.
Yes.
That's going to be like a little 101 for something. And please don't think we're being rude if we don't do shout-outs to you during this time.
Yeah, we're going to try not to look at our computers specifically for that. We're going to look at the camera.
We are going to be doing this little teaching bit that we can later on use, like I said, for evergreen content.
That's our cunning plan. A plan so cunning you could pin a tail on it.
So today, since it's Magickal Moonday,
yes,
we would first like to say a reminder that Friday is the Taurus full moon, and there will be an eclipse with that. We did a whole segment about that last Monday,
it was last Monday,
where we talked about the eclipse and the stall of that eclipse and how it relates to the year of the metal ox, and there's all that good stuff. And then we also talked about our astrology class that's coming in January.
We did.
So we thought we would continue with kind of that theme of focusing on something different that we could do a teaching for each day. So today we're going to talk about the moon's placement in the different signs.
Oh, the moon in your chart. What does it all mean?
All right. So we know that the moon changes signs about every 2.5 days.
Right.
It takes the moon about 60 hours to move through an entire zodiac sign.
Well, that's kind of quick, isn't it?
Right.
Quick.
So, your sun sign has a 30-day time frame, right? So you notice when you look in the astrology books, it'll say, December 20th to January 20th. And that's a rough estimate. It could be as early as the 19th or as late as the 24th, depending on the year. But it's about 30 days. So the sun moves 1 degree every day.
Ah, well, that's kind of easy to figure out then.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we can tell that if I'm born on January 26th and it's the 6th day of Aquarius, then my sun sign is 6 degrees Aquarius. That's the only one you can kind of figure out in your head.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
The moon, however, moves much more quickly, right?
Somewhat quicker, yeah.
So you can start to see how the moon will move through every single sign in what used to be called a month.
A month?
Right?
That's where it gets its name from.
28 days.
Yep.
Which is certainly connected to the feminine and the feminine cycle, right? And any time we have a word that is derived from the moon, we connect it to the mother, like Ma, Mer, the ocean, Moon, Mari. All of these things connect to the divine mother. Mary, the goddess, right?
Just saying.
Certainly in the Craft of the Wise, we look at the sun as the god and the moon as the goddess. And of course, she's working, just as hard as he is in that month.
That's the idea.
Right? So the sun will stay in a sign for 30 days, and the moon will go through every single sign in 30 days. And that's what confuses some people. Like they think, well, I'm Aquarius, so my moon's in Aquarius. No. Your sun is in Aquarius, right? Your moon could be in any one of those signs, because in the month's time that the sun is in one single sign, the moon has moved through every single sign.
Yeah. So it's critical when working out your moon's placement in your natal chart to actually know your accurate time of birth.
Right.
This matters.
Because we're talking about a 1 in 12 chance in a month of being in any sign.
But what does the moon in your natal chart, what is it all about? Is that, the moon in your natal, we know it moves quickly, all right, but what? What's the moon then? What's all that
all right.
about?
Well, let's think a little bit logically to figure out how we figure out what the moon does, right? So we know that the moon affects the tides. And in our Craft of the Wise class, we have a whole 2-hour lecture about the moon. But we know that the moon affects the tides, and I've already said that Mer, ocean, Ma, Mary, right? So if we think about what the element of water does, the element of water is very much connected to our emotional energy, right? So the sun is our character.
Did you see me?
Right? But the moon is our emotions, not just how we internalize or process them, but how we express them. So the moon in our chart tells us of how the person would internalize or project emotionally.
How they react, respond, process. Yeah. Whether they're I have to go there. This beautiful piece. And it was when we were first getting to know one another.
This is why I married him.
It's stuck in my head. And we started talking about the moon. And I went, cold-hearted orb that rules the night removes the colours from our sight. Red is grey and yellow white. But who's to say which is right and which is illusion? Hat tip to the Moody Blues, because that's where that comes from. But
one of my favorite bands, by the way.
But you think about what the moon does. It does change up. It's classed as a luminary, which means technically it's a luminary. It casts a light and a shadow on the Earth's surface. But it's not its own light. It's the reflected light of the sun. And that changing, that reflection, that like it's been somewhere and now it's coming back, that's really, really pertinent to your sort of emotional processing.
Let's look at the line that you just spoke. Cold-hearted orb that rules the night, right? So the sun tells us about the diurnal or the visible, and the moon tells us of the nocturnal or the hidden.
Right.
But sometimes we're not so good at keeping our emotions hidden. So this isn't...
Some of us are dramatic, you're saying?
Right. So this segment isn't just about what the moon does in your chart. We'd also, because it's very much connected to your emotions, you might notice you have different reactions or responses in that 30-day period, depending on where the moon is on that particular day, right?
Changeable, eh?
Right. So, so where the moon is today isn't going to be where the moon is 3 days from now. Right. So you might feel a certain way for a couple of days, and then you might be able to talk to yourself and feel a little bit differently about something. So it's always better to sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
Right?
Yes. What do you say? Don't go to bed mad. Stay up and fight. No.
No, I'm saying that you can, sometimes if you sleep on it and connect to that dark or that shadow, you get a different perspective by the next day.
You're right. You're so right. Because, the only constant in this world is change. I know that sounds like a weird dichotomy, but it is. Everything will pass. Everything changes. Change is inevitable. And there is nothing quite like the moon to illustrate change. It zooms through the zodiac. That's why traditionally I believe it's the Chariot tarot card is purportedly the moon, on the shoulders, the moon there, the whole tour of the zodiac, super quick. Yep. But yeah, the moon though, emotions, very much so. And you think about it, we talked about, what captures the water, it pulls the tides around. Most of us, what are we, 80% water, I think we are, something like that. So of course we
could be affected by this.
We're going to get pulled around
we
too.
can see physical changes as water accumulates in our body or releases from our body. If we get dehydrated, we're in big trouble.
Nuts.
Yeah.
You can get quite nuts if you're dehydrated, honestly. Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about now is the moon through the signs, right? So now this pertains to both where the moon is on a particular day, right? Because that energy could be affecting you. Right. If the moon is in one sign versus another sign, again, you may have a different reaction or response depending on what's happening with the moon. Certainly if there is an eclipse or something like that, an event, a moon event is going to affect everyone on the planet. And then where your moon is in your natal chart, right? On the day that you were born, the moon had a particular placement. And that kind of governs, or an astrological word is rules, your emotions.
Yep, you're predisposed to it, if I can say that in English, I'm sorry. If you think about it, it's like what was going on at the moment you were constructed, And so these things you like, some
That's
people
your perspective. That's the glasses that you're wearing to see that emotional energy.
It's what was going on around you at the time, shapes you, for want of a better word, because we're energetic beings, and the energies that are around us shape us. I mean, and it's exactly the same thing as, some people are born into abusive alcoholic parents. They themselves may become abusive and alcoholic. They may be predisposed to do that. That doesn't say it's an absolute. And
no, because with that information,
you could go completely the opposite way.
They could break the cycle.
They could go
so if you have
yeah.
Logic and reason for why you may act in a certain way, you can then overcome that.
Yep, compensate for it.
Or agree to learn that lesson, let's say. All right.
So that's kind of cool. So that's your natal chart. Your natal chart shows like these are your list of ingredients.
Exactly.
This is what happened when you were put together. All right. And so the placement where it occurs again may have a greater or a lesser effect depending on where whatever's going on reflects your natal chart. If you know what I mean.
So your moon could be from 0 to 2959. Because then it goes to 0 again, right? 30 degrees, 29.59.
Yeah, seconds. Right?
In any particular sign. And certainly in our astrology class, we'll talk about what those degrees mean. They're divided into 3 sets of 10 called decadents. And depending on the decadent, it adds another layer. But that's a little more advanced.
Yeah,
We're just doing
no,
a
we're not
101.
going there today. No, we're just going to talk about, this is like a little 101
Right.
for the moon placement.
So your perspective, if you have an Aries moon, we'll do them in order. So my little one-liner for Aries is ready, shoot, aim, right? They're known as the pioneer, and they can be a little bit innocent. They can also be a little bit childish. So this is going to be a little bit South Parkish. Nobody's going to be left uninsulted by the time we're done.
We tend to insult every single sign of the zodiac by the time we're done.
Well, because there's the good and the bad.
There's
always
attributes and detriments.
There's always a diurnal and a nocturnal face for every sign. So Aries could be very overly generous, or they can be the ultimate Scrooge. It just depends. You've got the horns of the ram there, so they're going to forge ahead. And they may not always be considerate of others.
No, I think Aries is certainly, you're not likely to find hidden agendas with Aries. They're not.
Nothing hidden.
They can be brutal, and they can be brutally simplistic sometimes. They will tell you how they feel.
So if this was your moon placement,
if this was your moon placement, what does that say about your emotions? The Aries, bags of smoke straight up the middle. You're going to be quite demanding emotionally. I would see that straight off, that your emotions are very, very important.
You might be prone to bursts of anger.
Absolutely, yeah. You might be, internalize stuff and get really hurt. What you attacked me, and that wasn't the case. But that sort of, pioneer, Marzi warrior kind of thing. We've always got the shield and the sword raised there. And so anything could be an attack, If it's not shoulder to shoulder with you going in exactly the same direction, that simplistic thing is, if you are not my ally, you must be my enemy. And so we've got that.
So Aries Moon
can be difficult.
Aries Moon. Can be now, again, this is only one small little wedge of your chart. You need to put the whole picture together. But if you have an Aries Moon, you might be a little bit aggressive. You might not really be able to control your reactions, and you might have to really learn how better to respond to things. So Aries Moon, if we think about it, Aries is very fiery, and we've already said the moon is very watery. So when you have a fire sign moon, you're going to get that steam.
Head of steam.
Yeah.
Yes.
A hothead.
Can be.
All right.
So moving on to Taurus then. Old stick it mud.
All right. So Taurus is extremely loyal.
Oh, God, yes.
They are also talked about being lazy.
No, just stubborn.
But Taurus...
Sorry.
Excuse me. But Taurus wouldn't overfill their plate. So usually they don't commit to something that they don't think they could actually provide. So commitments and loyalty are really, really important to Taurus. In fact, my one-liner for Taurus is, I'll do it because I said I'll do it. So even if they hate something that they've started, they're going to see it through.
Oh, you're going to know that they hate it,
right?
though.
And they can be a little bit clumsy, the bull in the china shop. But they are fantastic listeners and really good friends. So
I think also, the moon in Taurus, that placement, obviously understand that the ruler of Taurus is Venus.
Right.
And so we start to see the more beautiful aspects of the moon there as well. There could be a tremendous grace to
beauty.
Yeah. Don't do cheap and tacky.
No.
Certainly, it's one way it'll be the big turn off emotionally for a Taurian if you're looking at potential.
So now, if you have Taurus Moon, you may find it very difficult to leave a horrible relationship. Because Taurus doesn't take their commitments lightly.
No, they're in it.
And the moon is their emotional part of them. So Taurus Moon has a really hard time with divorce or separation.
Yeah.
All right.
They might have a hard time actually committing in the first place, but when they're committed, I think that
it's going to be even harder for them to
absolute. Yeah. So,
all right.
And they will take things to heart. Definitely. They maybe not necessarily. You know, in that we were just saying with the Aries Moon, you're going to get it right between the eyes, kind of thing. Taurus, no, they're going to be very still and quiet about it.
When you least expect it.
Oh yeah.
They're the opposite of Scorpios.
Mm.
All right. Next is Gemini. And Gemini is all about communication, right? Gemini likes to talk. They don't want really to listen. They're extremely creative.
Oh, yes.
And they want to know people and they want to dig, and they're like the inquiring mind. But they tend to ask a question and then ask the next question before you even answered the first question they asked. But they're very like probing.
They are, and I think they've also figured out all the possible answers that you might have given them to that question before you asked it as well. They have this inherently inquisitive mind. I think with Gemini, though, they do tend to be a little bit of a social butterfly, very much flitting around.
Big flirts.
Oh, ridiculous flirts, ruled by Mercury, so very, very, verbal communication.
But we'll get into the planets another day.
Yeah. I'm just saying that but we're bringing then these qualities, because it all blends together into this emotionally. Oh, are we talking about somebody that you want to go the distance with, a relationship that will last forever with a Gemini?
Gemini Moon is going to be really hard to pin down in a relationship. Yet they will ask you all the time, what are you thinking?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
How do you feel? But then they're really thinking that they just like to find the remote and not listen to your answer anyway. So Gemini Moon is tough. And
it's not the toughest, though.
Gemini Moon really, you see that Taurus Moon liked that commitment. Gemini Moon does not like the commitment. They'd rather have
two of everything, at least. At least two of everything.
Gemini Moon may like to have two partners, and as long as everybody agrees, that's just fine with them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Moon in Cancer. This is me. Well, Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. So emotionally, I try to mother everything. Everything. And if you don't have any children, you'll find something to mother.
Cats.
Husbands.
Plants. You don't mother me. Get away, you bugger.
Not at all.
Cheeky sod.
Anyway, so if we think about Cancer, they are probably the most emotional sign of the zodiac. So if you have Cancer Moon, you are very reactive and very responsive.
I know we're getting into the planets later, but what rules Cancer?
The Moon.
Yeah,
I don't want to go there because it'll be way too long of a segment.
I know.
All right.
But.
So Cancer is the ultimate mother. And if you have Moon in Cancer, you have to be careful not to smother others.
Maybe,
right?
Yeah.
Or be that dictative mother. Because
very emotional.
A lot of times moms know what's best and they will tell you. So if you have Cancer Moon, you want to be careful to allow other people to make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
and not mother them. All right. Leo. Leo is the actor of the zodiac.
Did you see me?
And they crave attention. So a Leo Moon is going to go pull out all the stops to get you to notice.
You're going to love me.
You're going to love me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
But Leo Moon could be very dramatic, right? Because Leo is a very dramatic sign. So Leo Moon is like the spoiled child that is going to lay down and have a tantrum unless they get that brand new whatever it is that they think they should have. And if you tell them no,
the toys come out the pram.
Oh, man. So Leo Moon is a very tough placement. Again, fire sign moon.
You got the fire and water again going on there.
Leo Moon is very tough. Very tough placement.
Not the toughest, though.
No. Not the toughest.
You'll have to see what the toughest is. Keep watching it. Do you qualify for the toughest moon placement?
What do you think it is?
Oh, I think it's Sag.
Oh, really? I think it's Aquarius.
You do?
I do.
Oh,
all right.
Okay. Well, you know, there's
always
we can argue with that
right.
one.
So we're halfway.
Well, if you're looking for somebody to get committed in a relationship, Sag Moon ain't out now.
No, that's the Bachelor or Bachelorette. All right. So the opposite of Gemini. See how these are connecting. Okay. So now we're up to Virgo. Now, Virgo has the ultimate attention to detail. Mm-hmm. And Virgo can be a little bit of a nitpicker. Mm-hmm. So Virgo Moon tends to be the emotional list maker, right? You in 1962, you said you felt this way. What do you mean you feel differently now?
Steady now,
right? So Virgo Moon is going to cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and keep documentation of your feelings. And Virgo Moon has to be cautious not to throw up old fights into new ones.
They will drag the past,
right?
Screaming into the present.
So, you know, if you're having a fight about what you're going to have for dinner, Virgo Moon might tend to bring up something.
And the way you and another thing, the way you park the car. What's that to do with dinner?
Okay.
So can be a little bit tough, that one.
But Virgo Moon also provides that beautiful innocence and response, because Virgo is a very good listener, right?
Yeah,
and Virgo is a very logical energy. So logic can temper emotions, right? So that's not
I think with Virgo there's an inherent emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
And I think that's a good one for somebody. Would make a wonderful therapist.
Right. So we're talking about now the other end of the zodiac, the reflections. So because we're getting into Libra now. Right? So Libra reflects Aries.
I'm sorry.
Libra always wants to keep peace. They want balance, right? They want it to be equal. They want justice. So emotionally, this causes them to say, I'm sorry, even if they weren't in the room when something happened. Right? So a Libra Moon has a very, very hard time making emotional decisions. Right? If there's something that you have to really sort out how you feel about it, Libra Moon needs a lot of extra time.
They're going to process that a lot. They're going to be quite internally conflicted about a lot of things, you know, because they want to see fairness, and sometimes they'll put themselves too low in the pecking order, especially emotionally.
Or the opposite.
Or go
it's
the
my
other
way or the highway.
Or the other. They can be brutal sometimes. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Interesting.
So Libra Moon can be brutally honest in their fight for justice. Right? Libra Scorpio Moon.
Oh. Don't cross this person.
Scorpio Moon is the fixed water. So this is the depth of emotion itself. Scorpio Moon has this long memory.
Such intensity.
Oh, yeah.
Intensity.
But if you are loved by someone with Scorpio Moon, look out if you do something to fall out of that love. They will drop you and they will not look back.
Unless it's to find out where to put the knife, or
and
roll you over with
Scorpio
a
Moon can hold a grudge forever.
Yeah. Scorpio Moon can be tough,
and Scorpio Moon tends to make the person very sarcastic.
Yeah.
But there is an emotional intelligence about Scorpio.
Oh, without doubt. And also, there's an incredible passion, I think, in a relationship.
That's why I said, if you're loved by someone...
They're like 110% in, you know? If a Scorpio Moon person is into you, they're into you. Like, almost to the exclusion of everything else. I mean, I think the Scorpios in a moon placement would make really a serial monogynist, wouldn't it? You know? You're the one and only, and nothing else compares to you until you screw it up.
You screw it up,
and
you're
then
done.
You're dead.
There's no backsies. No backsies.
Yeah, woohoo. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
And now moving on to our friends.
Sagittarius Moon. He thinks Sag is the hardest placement. Well, Sagittarius is like the Sagittarius Moon.
Moon.
Is
I love Sagittarius.
the confirmed single person. Nobody, right? Moon, mother, ma. Nobody is going to be good enough for them.
Can't fence
right?
them in.
Because what's ruling their moon sign, Sagittarius, is saying nobody's good enough. People are going to hold you down. People aren't going to let you live this life. They're going to take away your freedom, right? This is what that emotional
You must leave
sign
the green wood. You must accept the responsibility, and it is certain
Hell
death.
no, I'm going to Florida. You know, hell no, I'm going to go on my trip to wherever.
Yeah.
Sag Moon is very nomadic.
Yeah.
They don't want to have a particular home in a particular place. Sag Moon wants to explore relationships with all different kinds of
there you
people.
go. That's not to say that dating somebody with a Sag Moon couldn't be fun, because it's going to be
Oh
brilliant.
my God.
They're going to be they're going to be the perfect date. They're going to be just like, this person is so light, and so they're not heavy in any way. There's no like crushing stuff. It's
They're
always
the
like
ultimate
up for
joyful
adventure,
person. Yeah.
adventure and doing stuff, and you'll laugh until you cry
Sag
with this person.
Moon knows how to laugh.
You'll laugh until you cry with this person. You think, oh my God, I want to spend the rest of my life with them. And they're going to go, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with
But
anybody.
they changed their number and I can't find them now. Oh, they're off to Venice.
They ghosted me.
Yep.
That's your Sag Moon for you
So
there.
Sag Moon, I think, is a tough placement for people in a relationship with the Sag Moon.
Yes.
But I think Sag Moon is a fantastic moon to have.
if you intend to be the bachelorette for life,
right.
if you want to just like, you know, I love relationships, but I don't want to be in one with one person forever.
All right. Capricorn Moon.
That'd be me then.
Capricorn Moon is always insecure, right? Capricorn is about securing something, starting something, having an agenda, needing their needs to be met. Now, this is all looking from emotional eyes, right? So Capricorn Moon tends to be very hard to get into, right? They're going to insulate themselves, and they're not really going to tell you much about themselves until they're sure you're worthy of knowing. And they tend to be very insecure. Emotionally insecure.
So apparently I'm emotionally insecure.
Yep, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well,
Again, your moon is only a small part of your chart.
I'm in defense of myself, I'm gonna come up with one good thing with a Capricorn Moon. There's a fellow I knew way back that we shared the same birthday, same year, pretty much everything, but obviously the time where we were, our moon placements were very, very different, and our approach to conflict resolution was completely different. He was like, Aries Moon, warrior as hell, go fight them. You know, I'm going to go fight everybody. Me, Capricorn Moon, Aval Ben, be the bond. Be a leader, be a bridge. Right. It's all about conflict resolution for me. It's about how to, you know.
Oh, Capricorn Moon loves a challenge.
Very practical.
They love a challenge,
very practical,
too.
Yeah. Practical. Because, you know, war doesn't determine who's right, maybe who's left.
But understand, all these things that we're talking about today are regarding moon placement in a sign. We'll talk about the other planets in signs another time.
Oh, we're not quite done yet, because we've got to Capricorn. Now where do we go?
Aquarius.
And you think this is the hardest. Maybe it's the hardest to have.
I think it's the hardest moon placement to have, because Aquarius is isolated and fragmented, right? Aquarius will have 10 thoughts at once. Aquarius has a small attention span once they've figured something out.
Kudos to you for getting through this then.
Yeah. Once Aquarius has figured something out, they think they've figured it out. They know best. They're done. Boop. And they tend to come across as very cold because they don't want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about humanity. Did you see what happened on the news, right? They're responding and reacting in a humanitarian way, not an individual way. So emotions for Aquarius Moon are very difficult.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's happening globally will affect them. They will go to sleep thinking about, Aquarius Moon, again.
Not given
They'll
to worry,
go to sleep thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to get the government to get all that pesticide out of the earth? There's pesticides in the ground that will never come out. You know, they get consumed by global issues and they have no time for personal relationships. Aquarius Moon has a really hard time with one-on-one relationships. It's a very difficult moon placement to have.
I think with the Aquarius trait, you know, it's the want to save humanity, love the concept
people?
of humanity,
No.
but people suck.
Right.
You know, they're and they're not the best people.
Right, but yeah, that's Aquarius's little motto. I love humanity, I just hate people. So imagine having that as your emotional response.
Yeah, so that could make it tricky to actually form meaningful interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
It could be.
Right, and the last moon we have for you to talk about today is
course.
Pisces Moon.
Oh, bless him.
Now, Pisces is kind of their own worst enemy. They're like the self-undoer, you know. They come unwound pretty quickly. So
not given to drama.
Pisces, if we think about it, is a water sign, so it's compatible with moon energy.
Yes.
But it also makes, again, for a very dramatic moon placement, right? So Cancer Moon, Scorpio Moon, and Pisces Moon, very, very intense moon placements. Leo as well, that's the next most dramatic sign. But Pisces tends to become very addicted to their emotions. So if
I just can't quit you, man.
Well, they're going to have a hard time dealing with rejection, but they're also going to put their all into something they feel strongly about, right? They will stay up all night to resolve an issue. Pisces Moon.
Yeah.
Right?
I have Pisces ridiculous. Their receptors go to
11
easily.
Maybe even 13.
Maybe even 13. Nobody can feel more intensely. Nobody can be hurt more intensely.
Well, they're the last sign. They have the experience of all the others rolled into one.
So yeah, Pisces has that, you know, the last one, the self-undoing thing. They can suffer from martyr syndrome, you know. Tie themselves to the stake, set fire to the bushels beneath their feet and go, look at me, you buggers,
So
I'm
imagine
burning.
that ruling your emotions. I will do anything to fix it.
We got to say something good about every sign. So the good thing
I thought
about
that they will stay up till 3 a.m. to resolve an issue.
insanely creative, and
Yes.
and we're talking about artistic pursuits, especially where they cross over emotionally, and this
So
poetry,
they could
writing,
produce amazing poetry.
songs.
But they could also be Sylvia Plath. Anyway.
Settle.
All right.
Grace, be gracious, be gracious.
No, there's good and bad about every sign.
So, yeah.
But just think, today we're talking about the signs as your emotional meter.
So that's
your emotional prospect.
That is our little 101 segment, which you know, is your moon placement in your natal chart, what you're predisposed to. I'm sorry, I can't even say the word today.
You could also translate what we've talked about and look at where the moon is on the day you're watching this and put those
Where's
two
the
things
moon now?
together. Like if you said, oh, today the moon is in Capricorn, maybe I feel a little insecure because of that. Or maybe I feel like I want to make a contract of resolution with somebody and get things on solid footing again.
I'd like to build some bridges.
Right. You can look at where the moon is on the particular day you're watching this and see how you feel about that energy. All right. That's the moon in the signs.
So if you like what you've seen today, please, we're going to be doing an awful lot more of these. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Okay. Check us out. We're going to try and put together something very, very, what do we call it? Regularly is the word, I guess. Regularly. Sorry, the words today. There's so many words. I don't know what it is. Yeah, we're going to try and do this regularly so that we've got some good content for you guys to like. So please do like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Moving on, now we come back to our Elevensies program.
Format, which is
thank you everybody who's been commenting to us. We're really, really not ignoring you.
Well, why don't you read out some of the comments?
All right, so we've got, I think we've caused great hilarity there. People think it was hilarious. Claire is from the UK and a Gemini. Well, welcome to both of you.
Gemini Sun, different than Gemini Moon.
Pam's saying this is hysterical. Love it. Sparky was saying hi, but she's retracted the message. I don't know what she said. All right. Sag Moon is what Pam was saying. The Sag Moon is thinking that would be the hardest. Sparky is a Virgo Moon. Okay. Well, that gives you emotional intelligence. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Gosh. Oh, Pam is a Scorpio Moon. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Very passionate, deeply passionate.
Sanya would like to super chat for a question. We'll take your super chat. No guarantee.
Sure. No, we'll answer your question.
Go for it. Hell, we'll go for it. We'll do anything. We'll do it. You want a super chat, Sanya, for a question? Have at it. We'll do that.
Elizabeth says, great segment. Truly enjoyed it. Wonderful presentation.
Well, thank you. We're gonna try and do little 101s.
All right. So we'll do card of the day,
Yep.
and then if you do super chat, we will do a card for you. All right. So card of the day is the Emperor. So today is a Monday. This is card of the day to start your week. Now, Monday, Moon Day, you might be a little emotional. But I think that this card is saying, work to find today your confidence. And understand you wouldn't be doing what you were doing unless you were capable of doing it. Right? So if you're at work and you're having a little bit of a tough time or feeling a little bit overwhelmed, if you weren't the person for the job, you wouldn't have that job. So find your confidence, find your footing, and you'll do well today. What's your reading?
I'll try and keep it a reading and not go into the analysis of the Emperor card. But this is like, with great power comes great responsibility. Is I think what I want to say for this card. You really need to. Yes, you've got stuff to do. But be mindful of your responsibilities. Be mindful of how you interact with other people. Be mindful that the words can sometimes be like weapons, and they can be like rocks that are thrown. You can't unthrow a rock once you've thrown it. You just hope it doesn't do too much damage when it lands. You can't unsay something when you've said that. Oh, Sparky sent us a super chat. Thank you.
Well, maybe she has a question too.
If you've got a question, that's why maybe she's just saying hi and sending a super chat. Thank you. We appreciate it. It's all going to go to Celtica, as you know. So thank you so much for that. But this guy, it's really interesting that his lower legs are armoured as well. So that indicates that you may need to be prepared for a few slings and arrows tossed your way as well.
But
so
I say,
with emotions, die to dear,
yeah.
Maintain your composure, maintain your grace. Don't allow the emotions, because we're talking moon and emotions and all that sort of stuff, to get the better of you. Remember your responsibilities. Be graceful. Tolerate fools gladly if necessary. All right. You don't have to cut somebody down to make your point. So I don't know. There's an awful lot of layers in this card, and it's funny. The more you look, the more you see.
But we're not doing Tarot Talk Tuesday with the Emperor. We're doing a reading.
We're doing a day's reading. That is so true.
All right. So last chance to whoever it was that wanted a card.
Yeah, if you're still there, Sonia, because we've been on for getting on for an hour. But
it's our admin day. We've got
a ton of stuff. Pam really just wants to opt out of today. Unfortunately, no, you can't really opt out of life. It's a despite the high cost of living, it still remains popular.
Yes.
Yes, and sometimes there's an emotional cost as well. So, but try to be okay today, yes, Emmett agrees.
Emmett's back.
It's
all about him.
Emmett's chiming in with his meow. He has the most incredible soulful eyes.
Charlotte really and Emmett are Taurus. They're bulls in the china shop.
They bloody are. You would not believe what they've trashed in our house. The pair of them. I don't know who's worse, honestly.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for putting up with our new format. And this is kind of what we're going to be doing with that middle segment, building evergreen content. So again, we will talk to you and interact with you in the beginning, and we will talk to you and interact with you at the end. But in our little 101 teaching segment, whatever it is we choose to do that day, we wouldn't be interacting because we're going to make evergreen content.
That's the idea. We want something that's we're here making a program, so we're going to make a program that will stick. So that's what we're going to be doing.
All right.
So thank you.
Thank you all very much.
I think that worked pretty well. Actually.
We'll see you tomorrow.
I think that did. So
at 11.
at Elevensies, and we haven't had our production meeting yet. I think that's on the agenda for today.
Yeah, we've got a lot to do.
We've got an awful lot to do.
Sign
so
off
we
now.
better boot scoot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.